Welcome to World Wrestle News. So let's talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins takes the microphone and says he's getting mixed signals from the crowd. 1 second they're chanting for the OTC and CM Punk, and the next they're barking for Braun and singing his song. He says that since they don't know what they want, Seth doesn't care what they want. Seth says they don't know what's good for them, so they need people like Seth to tell them. Seth says fans want things because of him. He says Roman Reigns exists because of him. Rollins says CM Punk is only back because WWE wanted to cash in on their hatred. He says Cody wouldn't have had his second coming without Rollins. Seth says the NXT Championship and World Heavyweight Championship only exist because of him. Rollins says LA Knight tried to stand up to them, and they took him out and put an end to it. So, that's why they did the Savage beatdown. He says soon, Braun will do the same to another person who has been a thorn in their side, Penta. He then mentions John Cena, Gunther, CM Punk, and Goldberg. Goldberg got a mixed reaction. Seth says that all of those names and everybody else are just racing to be second place. This is the finish line. Back from break, and Penta versus Braun Breaker is underway. This was a great match. Both superstars give their best. But at the end of the match, Penta hit the ropes and jumps to the second rope. He dives back and is nailed with a spear. This one is over. Braun Breaker defeats Penta. Seth Rollins comes down and celebrates with Braun. He then talks to Penta, who is in pain, saying this is the one warning to stay out of his way. Will Penta listen? The New Day then shows up, and Adam Pearce reveals they'll take on Finn Balor and JD McDonough next week. Next, Michael Cole discusses the injury to Liv Morgan. He says she'll be out for several months. Adam Pearce then reveals Dominic Mysterio is also hurt, and AJ Styles' match with Dirty Dom at Night of Champions is off. AJ says Dom is ducking him, but Pearce says it's just postponed and he'll be first in line. Next, we get an exclusive interview with Michael Cole and Goldberg. Cole talks about what happened between Gunther and Goldberg at Bad Blood last year. Goldberg said he brought his family to a show, and Gunther disrespected him. Goldberg said Gunther embarrassed him in front of his wife and son. Goldberg said he was embarrassed in front of his fans in his adopted hometown of Atlanta. So he was never letting him get away with this. Goldberg says nobody will talk to him like that and get away with it. Goldberg brings up how he wanted a retirement match and says Gunther basically put himself in that spot. Goldberg gets bleeped out, but says he is going to beat the F out of Gunther. Obviously, the F word was censored. Michael Cole says he also asked Goldberg if this was definitely his last match, and he said it was. Cole says he asked Goldberg off camera, what if he wins the world title? And Goldberg seemingly played coy. After that, a backstage moment, Finn Balor's all smiles despite Liv being injured. He gets into an argument with Raquel Rodriguez, and she snaps. He encourages her to use that anger on Rhea Ripley. Dominic says he misses Liv, but then gives attention to Roxanne Perez. And next match, Roxanne Perez versus Jade Cargill. Both superstars give their best. But at the end of the match, Roxanne hits a tilt-a-whirl, facebuster, and the Scorpio rising kick for a near fall. Jade recovers and hits a nasty powerbomb on Roxanne. The referee doesn't count for some reason, but after that botch, Jade hits the Jaded for the win. Jade Cargill defeats Roxanne Perez, and now Jade Cargill will face Asuka in the finals of Queen of the Ring. Next up, Gunther makes his way out. He says last week was supposed to be his celebration, but Bill Goldberg interrupted it. Gunther says most people get a spear and a jackhammer and lose. He says Goldberg was the most destructive man of his generation, but it isn't 1999 anymore. He says he's the guy and the most talented man in wrestling. Gunther says Goldberg is 58 years old and can't tie Gunther's boots. Gunther apologizes to Goldberg's kid and wife for what he will do to him. He says it is his responsibility to kill the legacy and myth of Goldberg. Wow. Incredible promo. Sammy then punches Karrion and knocks him down. Sami says he's done talking to Karrion. He says he talked to Adam Pearce, and their match is official. And a few minutes later, the match is now official at Night of Champions. Bayley is dominating in this match. But at the end of the match, Becky and Bayley fight on the floor, and Becky sends Bayley over the announce table and buries her in chairs to try to get a count-out victory. Lyra shows up to help Bayley, but it leads to chaos, including Becky attacking Lyra. Bayley throws Becky over the table this time, and then into the ring post. Bayley throws Becky back into the ring, but Lyra attacks Becky. The referee calls for the bell, and Becky Lynch defeats Bayley by disqualification. Next, Raquel Rodriguez calls out Rhea Ripley and blames Mommy for her not winning Queen of the Ring. Rhea comes out to a huge pop, and they start to brawl. They fight on the floor, and Raquel pulls out a table. She pushes it in the ring, and Rhea jumps off the table and strikes Raquel. She slams Raquel into the steel steps and smirks, seeing the table. She sets it up and goes to Riptide Raquel, but Roxanne Perez shows up. Roxanne fights Rhea, but gets dropped. Raquel then powerbombs Rhea through the table. Wow. And now the match is official. Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley at Night of Champions. And now, let's move on to our main event. Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. Winner faces Randy Orton. Jey Uso does an encore, and then Cody Rhodes makes his way out. Big match feel. Both superstars fight outstandingly, but at the end of the match, Jey super kicks Cody and shouts for him to get up. Jey hits another and then a spear. Jey then calls for the end and climbs the ropes for an Uso splash. Cody then runs up the ropes and hits a cutter from the top, and both men crash. Rhodes fires up and hits the crossroads for the win. Cody Rhodes defeats Jey Uso, and now he will face Randy Orton at the King of the Ring tournament. What are your thoughts about today's Monday Night Raw? Tell me in the comment box. And now, I'll meet you in my next video, so take care, bye.